If you're looking for a great pair of wireless earbuds, then the Samsung Galaxy Buds 2 Pro might just be what you're looking for. Hey, what up? It's your boy MobbJustice back again with another video, and for today we're doing things a little bit differently. I'm currently located in Thailand, and I really thought it would be a great opportunity to do a quick review of these, the Galaxy Buds 2 Pro, because I found that they are really great travel companion. As always, this video is brought to you by the team over at Lion Media. Head on over to check out some of the crispiest photo, video, and audio content. That's www.lionmedia.com. Head on over, check it out, and just see what the team can do for you. So I'm looking at, this particular set of earbuds as someone who typically uses AirPods on a daily basis. You can actually check out my last review that I did on the AirPods, but also we've had a number of audio products on the platform. So I'm someone who tends to like audio, music, quiet listening, that type of thing. So, that's the viewpoint, from which I am looking at it. I've typically used these earbuds with my current S10 Plus, that's the Galaxy S10 Plus, as well as the S23, which we reviewed earlier in the year, the S23 Ultra, that's it on the phone side, and then also with the Google Chromecast, that's the latest generation, the HD one. That's been my use cases for this type of thing. So in terms of the earbuds themselves, they do have quite an interesting design. They kind of look like small beans, very different to what you see from AirPods, but very similar design to the skull candies that we reviewed earlier on. I think they actually have a great fit as far as I can see, and they really do stay in place from my experience, since having started using them. I typically use them about an hour or so a day, and it's usually for jogging and working out. That's my biggest use for these things, and also on flights, and I can definitely say very comfortable, well designed. Now, the other aspect when it comes to the design is the charging case itself. You can see this, small black, it looks like a puck, very different design philosophy, compared to what we see with the likes of AirPods, for example, which are sort of top down, but these are flat, and then you put your buds on the inside. I really like, this design, and I actually think that to a large extent I prefer this particular form factor to the AirPods case, and I like the finish that's on these particular buds because this is a matte black finish. However, though, I have found that there has been a little bit of wear and tear. This is the value of having had a product like this for quite a number of months. I've had them since the start of the year, so you do start to see a little bit of wear and tear. Some of the matte finish is starting to scrape off, very small, but definitely something to think about. So in terms of design, I would give these a 9 out of 10. As I said, I really like the design, the matte finish, that type of thing. So 9 out of 10 is for me. In terms of sound quality, I think this is one of the biggest areas for anyone who's looking for earbuds or any listening device, and I would say that these have a really great sound signature. It's tuned by AKG, which means that they have the same sound signature as all other Samsung earbuds that I've tested out in the last couple of years, such as the ones that came with my S10 Plus a few years ago. So really great sound signature, very bass heavy. I'll definitely say that they excel on the low end. That's their biggest one. And then you do have really great active noise cancelling. That is a mode that's there, as well as an ambient or transparent mode, which I think does a pretty good job. So for me, I would definitely say that when it comes to sound quality, I'll definitely give these an 8.5 out of 10. The next piece of the equation is what I consider everyday use, the practicalities around using a set of earbuds like this. And I would say that there are a number of things to consider, starting off with connectivity. I would say that, for the most part, it's been a smooth experience. You can pair these quite easily with a number of different devices. They're not locked into any particular ecosystem. However, I have had, one or two issues when I was connecting and reconnecting with the S23 earlier this year, as well as the Chromecast, which I also use. But I think with the Chromecast specifically, I think it's more of a Chromecast issue. I don't think it handles very well, too many things going on. But if you want the best experience, you certainly need to use the Galaxy Wearables app, and it allows you to have a lot of fine controls over the use of these particular earbuds. It has really fine controls for things such as your volume, your different sound modes, an equalizer, your touch controls, that type of thing. So I think it's a really great companion app, to use them. You don't have to have it, but you're going to get the most out of these buds, if you download that particular app. And as I noted in my S23 review, I really like the widget that comes with the Wearables app, because it gives you nice quick controls to things such as, especially your sound modes, moving between the neutral, the ambient, and then the active noise cancelling. And when it comes to some of those sound modes, I would say I said the active noise cancelling is pretty good, but the ambient or transparency mode is an interesting one. This was my first time experiencing a mode like that, and I would say for the most part it works very well. However, a lot of people, would compare this to AirPods Pro, and a lot of the reviews from that particular product say that you don't even feel like you are wearing devices on your head, and that the transparency is that natural sounding. But when it comes to these specific buds, I would say that this is where things are a bit hit or miss, because the transparency mode sort of uses microphones to sort of pick up what's going on in the environment. So I find that certain sounds tend to be exaggerated. Just the simple act of putting these on the table tends to be magnified, because it's being picked up by the microphones and being fed into your ear. So a bit disconcerting, but otherwise for the most part pretty good. The other thing when using these buds on a day-to-day is that they have little touch controls in each one of the earbuds. You put them in, and then you can literally just press to skip a track. You double press to skip a track, triple press to go to the previous track. You can single press to play and pause the music that you have, long press to move you between transparency mode as well as active noise cancelling. So I'd say pretty good in terms of how intuitive that is. But when it comes to these touch controls, I've found that they can be a little bit finicky, for my personal liking. So I haven't enjoyed that aspect, where there are so many accidental touches. Maybe you're just adjusting them, maybe it's a bit loose and you just want to adjust. It's automatically going to do something to whatever's being played back. A lot of the times it's going to play or pause whatever you're listening to. So I find that to be a little bit annoying. And on my side, I wish there was a way to fix that. You can go into the app and actually adjust to what the different touches do, and actually switch off the touch controls if you want. But if you're going to have those touch controls on, that's something to definitely keep an eye on. The other thing to point out is that these buds have ear detection, and what that basically means is that they are aware, they've got sensors in them that let them know when they're inside their eardrum. And if you take one of them out, it will automatically pause whatever you're listening to, especially if it's on a Samsung device. It will do that pretty well. We've seen this on AirPods for some time, so it's one of those features that I actually enjoy. So when it comes to everyday use and capability, I'm gonna give this one a 7 out of 10. Like I said, the touch controls can be good. You do have really great modes when it comes to the sound. The app is really great, but all of this is taken down by some of the finickiness of the touch controls and that type of thing. So for me, I'm going to give it a 7. In terms of call quality, I'm giving this one a 5 out of 10 straight off the bat, simply because this can be hit or miss. If you have earbuds, whether wired or wireless, and you have a phone, one of the big things you want to be able to do is to take calls. with your earbuds without necessarily having to hold your phone up to your ear. Now, when it comes to this, I found that it's hit or miss when it comes to calls, specifically normal calls. I found that a lot of the time I can't be heard on the other side when it comes to normal calls, and I've actually heard one or two people giving me feedback to say that they could hear a bit of an echo when I had these on. So on that side, not so good. But when it comes to voice over IP calls, think your WhatsApp and that type of thing, the calls that are going over the internet, I'd say that's the one place where they do shine. The calls tend to be crystal clear, and I can be heard quite clearly, and the isolation is pretty good. So that's why I say mixed bag, and as long as you have that mixed bag, I'm giving it a 5. When it comes to battery life, Samsung says that you're going to get about 8 hours worth of playback from these buds on each charge, and then that can be extended up to 30 hours as long as you have a fully charged case. Now, in my experience, I actually go for a number of weeks without charging anything here. As I said, I'm using them for roughly an hour or so a day, and you can go for 2, maybe 3 weeks in my experience, without necessarily putting them on the charge. So I think it's been good from that point of view. They have about a 58 milliamp hour battery, which means it's absolutely tiny. But what that means is that it means you can actually charge them, pretty quickly. The first time that I charged, it took roughly just over an hour to actually, get them, fully charged the first time around. And then from there, I've actually seen that one of these little earbuds can actually charge from 0 to about 44%, in 10 minutes, right? And then all that is happening via USB Type-C. You see that on the back of the charging case, you do have this really convenient USB-C port that's there, and you can, wirelessly charge these particular earbuds. The case actually has 2 sets of lights and indicators, one on the outside and one on the inside, and they give you status around the battery life on the charging case itself, as well as the buds. So when it comes to use, I would definitely give battery life on these a strong, I'm gonna call it a 9, simply because you can get quite a bit of use out of them. Usually you're going to get the best battery life as long as you're not using active noise cancellation, because that does drain the battery a little bit more. You heard me earlier on saying that it's about 8 hours per charge, normal use, but with active noise cancelling that goes down to 5 hours per charge. So you do need to have that consideration. About a third or so of the battery life does take a hit when you are using active noise cancelling. So overall, we're looking at roughly 8 or so out of 10. That's the score that I would give to these earbuds. Really great, as I said, as a pair of earbuds. I've said it before that I prefer buds when it comes to something like this that don't have the rubber tips, but those tips are really great for passive noise cancelling as well as active noise cancelling. So they work very well from that point of view. And then the other one is that they can be a little bit pricey. They're competing with the AirPods Pro, which themselves are not cheap in any way, but these do come in slightly cheaper than those. So that's something to consider.
So when I initially did this review, I actually hadn't had a chance to test out the AirPods Pro, but shout out to my homie Titch who let me try out his, and I can safely say that those things, they do sound as good as they're advertised. However, I do not think that the price difference between the Buds 2 Pro and the AirPods Pro is justified from that point of view. Secondly, there's a really cool feature where if you're wearing the buds and maybe you receive a call or there's an alarm, it actually says in your ear that there's an alarm, that there's a voice call, that you have text messages. I thought that was a great feature. And then lastly is the fact that because of all the comparisons with AirPods, one of the things that AirPods seem to do way better, which I think the Galaxy ecosystem needs to touch on, is awareness of devices. I found that switching between 2 sets of devices, it doesn't automatically do that. As you see with AirPods, if you have a Mac, if you have an iPhone and an iPad, it can dynamically switch between the two. But when you're using Galaxy Buds 2 Pro, that is not available.
So if you have the money, I would say definitely go out and buy a pair of these earbuds. But if you're looking for something that's a little better priced, you can actually check out my review of the Skull Candies that we reviewed some time back. Those will at least give you a similar fit and feel. But you do sacrifice when it comes to things such as the length of the battery life, as well as the app and active noise cancelling. But pretty good set of buds in my opinion. So that's been it. You guys can let us know what you think of these particular buds. Do you own a pair of Galaxy Buds 2 Pro? Are you interested in something like this? Or if you're someone who's been an AirPods user, you still prefer to be in that Apple ecosystem. You guys can let us know what you think. What are you listening to? Does active noise cancelling and that type of thing matter to you? You guys can let us know what you think, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.
This is Muffs Too Much, and you're watching MobbJustice TV. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And remember to share the content. You never know who you're going to help. Stay blessed, stay alive, and thriving.